of motherhood, somehow none of them even remotely prepared me for the reality of it. The propaganda about motherhood starts in pregnancy, when people cross crowded rooms to stroke your bump and tell you, misty-eyed, how much they miss those early days and what a wonderful mother you will be. It's lovely, in a way, how society conspires to treat pregnant women like fragile creatures who will be transported on a cloud to the flower-scented meadow of motherhood. But it's not very helpful. For some reason, it's deemed cruel or distasteful or unfair to talk honestly to pregnant women about what lies ahead. Instead, people, and weirdly it's mostly other women, perpetuate a vague, fluffy idealisation of the truth that can be projected and spun out for 9 months, which pregnant women, who know no better, get lulled into believing. The problem with that, of course, is that when the baby actually comes along, the reality can be that much harder to deal with. Worse, it can leave women feeling they must be somehow lacking as a mother if they find it difficult. I know I felt that way. Even so, somehow the realities of motherhood often remain a hidden world, not talked about out loud. But what I have slowly discovered is that everyone has a different experience, and often it's not straightforward. For every woman who has had an ecstatic birth followed by unparalleled joy and happiness at being a mother, there is someone for whom parenthood has had a difficult start because of colic, unexplained and relentless crying, a sleepless baby, or because they are doing it solo, or just because of bewilderment at this new state of affairs. Adjusting to having a third person in your relationship, or to having a body that is battle-scarred and unrecognisable, not to mention never having even close to enough sleep. Personally, I probably had an unusually difficult start to motherhood. My baby was hospitalised for a week when he was 10 days old because he was so dehydrated, after which he was tube-fed and had nothing by mouth for 12 weeks while doctors decided whether there was something wrong with his swallow. As it turned out, there was not, but by the time the feeding tube came out, my son had lost the urge to breastfeed. So that was tough. Understatement. And not at all what I'd expected those early days to be like. But I found other aspects hard too. After paternity leave ended, my husband, with whom I had shared an equal partnership until that point, disappeared off to work every day while I stayed at home bouncing on my birthing ball to soothe the baby, then expressing milk, then feeding. Bouncing, pumping, feeding. Bouncing, pumping, feeding. There I sat, bouncing, all day, thinking, where has my life gone? And feeling a bit guilty that I wasn't having the time of my life as advertised throughout the duration of my pregnancy. But when I mentioned I was finding it hard to anyone who asked how I was doing, I realised that was the wrong answer. Bizarrely, when you are learning how to do the most challenging new job you'll probably ever do, you're under pressure to pretend that everything's going brilliantly. Looking back, I wish I had been able to read more about other people's actual experiences of motherhood rather than how it should be. Instead of reading manuals about what to do, I wish I'd read more about the myriad ways that things, from the birth to sleeping, to weaning, to toddlers, to teenagers, and everything in between, actually do pan out. After all, there is nothing like knowing you are not alone. The feeding thing turned out to be my big hurdle. Once we got that sorted, everything slowly started to get easier. Gradually, the angst subsided. I found my feet, and I started to really enjoy it. Of course, there will be more challenges ahead, but now I am the mother of a funny, sweet, and very loving little boy who has slowly lit up my world and filled it with more joy, fun, and love than I had ever hoped I'd be allocated in life. And having a child is by far the best thing I